Brandon Colucci.
Hi, I'm Nicole,
Hey, I'm Leon.
and we are going to talk about Clay Shirky and Evgeny Morozov this week.
About Morozov, he is about how the government is doing a negative effect, basically, and how the government takes control. And for perspectives from the China and Iran, how the government takes control over the government's, not over the social medias, like for protests and certain events, and they basically block out like YouTube videos and cell phone service. As a quote by him, he said that we shouldn't kid ourselves. Nobody knows how to create sustainable digital public spheres capable of promoting democracy, because it can be something called anti-government.
And the government doesn't want people organizing themselves against the government.
About finding out certain events and certain protests that could be bad for the government.
Shirky, on the other hand, has a more positive view on technology, and he expects those people in those authoritarian countries to use that as a tool, like in Germany. And I can't remember the name of the town in Germany in 1989 that led to the protest that led to the collapse of the East Germany
You're talking about
Republic.
about the Berlin Wall?
Yeah, pretty much talking about the Berlin Wall. How people at first they were like the fence sitter, they didn't really do anything until they saw other people, until they realized that other people felt the same exact way as they did, and when they did, thanks to the media, they finally amassed together and collapsed the Eastern German Republic. And that Shirky was talking about in the net advantage, the easier the assembly of citizens, the more ubiquitous the ability to document atrocities. In other words, the more people have access to this media in these countries, the easier it is for the rest of the world to see it.
So the new media artifact that we watched was a piece about Gaza and Sderot. One group of people were talking about their life in Palestine, and the other group was talking about their life in Israel. They're both conflicting regions because of the war on land
and religion.
Yes. Yeah.
So
that's been going on for thousands of years. They're fighting, yada yada yada. However, their two sides aren't really that different. They both they both really stress that they just want peace.
They just want to stop.
They weren't really pointing fingers. They were just concerned about concerned about their life and their everyday happenings and such. Like the one girl was saying, I would never raise my kids here because it sucks, basically. The other guy was saying he feels like he's in prison. So the two sides really weren't fighting. The people weren't fighting. Maybe it's like the people who are running the wars, the radical people. Yeah. Would this help bridge the gap between the two regions, Palestine and Israel?
Yeah, I think
yes, we all agree that it would bridge the gap, because if each side were to see the opposite side's point of view and realize that they're in the same boat, they would have a happier life at least.
They would definitely come together and stop these radicals.
And it would definitely, that's the impact that it would have on their social, everyday life.
Yeah, because they just want to be like everybody else. They want to be like us, have a good life and not worry about bombs dropping on their house
and dying. And none of them have hatred. The everyday people, they don't hold any hatred for each other. It would just have a strong impact, I feel like, if they were to watch it. Because their governments are most likely telling them not true facts about the other one, and vice versa. So and that's why they're living in this misery. If they were to see the other side's point of view, it would just change their whole outlook on their lives.